So first of all, I just want to say, awesome. There's a ton of people here. It's freaking awesome. You guys made the game go by really slow because there were so many, but that's a good thing. All right. So whenever I was asked to do my testimony, my first thought was, how do I do a testimony? It's I got to think about this for a second. And so I kind of had to go back to the basics. I said, okay, when doing a testimony, people always want to ask, how did you find Christ? That's the base question of the whole thing. How did you come to Christ? How did you find Christ? And the truth for me is that there was really no time in my life where I was without him. And that sounds kind of weird, I'm putting myself on a pedestal or something. But I don't say that to put myself on a pedestal. But what I mean is that I grew up as a kid very involved in church. So there was really never a time in my life where I wasn't in church. I just remember as a little kid, I was always in Sunday school. So I feel like there might be a lot of people out here tonight that might have been raised up in the same way. And if not, that's okay. Because I think my message tonight applies to everybody. So as a kid, I really honestly realized I needed Christ in about 5th grade. So pretty early. I couldn't really remember why I thought I needed to do it so bad, to get baptized, But I do remember wanting it so bad, though, that I would stay up almost every night and read my Bible. And every Sunday morning, I would just take notes like nobody's business, because I thought that was just what I needed to do to get baptized. I thought the key to getting Christ in my life was knowing him through the Word. The truth is, I probably just wanted to do this so bad because every Sunday morning when we took communion, all the adults would get to take the juice and the bread, and I was like, man, I want to do that. I get hungry in these services. I need a little snack, But I do remember that as a little kid. I was like, man, I want to take communion, because that's something that everybody does. I want to be a part of that. And I remember that. So basically, after I got baptized, my family went on a mission trip to Prairie, Louisiana. And that was when my relationship with Christ was not brought up through the Word. My relationship with Christ wasn't really brought up through the Word necessarily. So, I thought that my relationship with Christ should be brought up through the Word. So basically, when I went on this mission trip, I learned that my relationship with Christ doesn't have to be through this book that he gives us, through the Bible. There I learned that my relationship with Christ was not brought up through this Word, but it was brought up through acting on what this book teaches us and seeing the relationship that we begin to build off of it. I learned in that old rundown town in Louisiana that I love to help people. I love to feel like I made some kind of difference. And after we left Crowley, things went much like they do when you leave any church camp or CRY. I was on a spiritual high. And for a couple weeks, all I could do was read my Bible and I could pray every night. Soon, however, things went back to normal. My relationship with God wasn't really lost per se, but it was for sure put on the back burner. Throughout middle school, I had plenty of struggles. You name it, I probably struggled with it. The thought that always came up in my mind, especially when things were going hard, was the question, God, why are you letting this happen to me? It's kind of ironic, actually, how whenever my life was going good and smooth, I almost didn't seem to need God. I kind of treated him like he wasn't there. When things went bad, though, I was right back to asking God, why did you let this happen to me? And it's kind of ironic. Oh, I just said that, sorry. So, I was right back to asking God why he was doing this. And now that I look back on it, I can see that he was just nudging me, telling me, hey, dude, I'm still here. Have you forgot about me? And I pretty much struggled with this for years, and I still do. I think we all do sometimes. I remember in my early high school years, however, I began asking the question, is God real? And I feel like that's a question that a lot of us ask. The reason I ask this question, is God real, is just, it seemed like he wasn't ever there. I struggled with this big time, and this question stuck with me for a while. Why would God put me through struggles when I go to church all the time? Why is it every time I talk to God, he doesn't seem to answer? If God is real, then why is he silent? This ate at me big time. My sophomore year, I went to a youth conference with my church, CRY. Hubbard told me about some new kid that was going to be there, and that I should try and make good friends with them. So I guess me being me, I saw him in the 2240, place where we meet up in the morning. I gave him a big hug, and I was like, dude, I love you. And he was like, dude, who are you? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm Couper. I was like, I'm going to be your friend this week. And he was like, okay. And so I actually made really good friends with him. And throughout that week, I got to know that kid pretty dang well, and we became really good buds. I also learned that he had been through a crap ton. I remember one night at the conference, I wanted him so badly to try to get a relationship with Christ that I dragged him up front to this place where you could ask for prayer. I remember he put down, I want somebody to talk to me that understands what I've gone through. And I couldn't really relate to that. I had definitely had an easier life. And the funny thing is that night, the speaker that spoke told us his testimony, and it was almost a spitting image of what my friend had been through. He broke down and cried that night, and that's when I knew that God was really there in my life. He just wanted me to take action and not him to do it for me. I recently went on a trip to Haiti, and it was really Louisiana all over again, other than this rooster that was there that would wake you up at like 6 in the morning. That was fun. And I just remembered how much I love helping people. I remembered how much I loved helping my friend that week, and I remembered that it wasn't really for me in life to go help people, but it did make me feel good. And, sorry, I actually said that wrong. It wasn't for me whenever I was helping people, but it was for the people I was helping. So, sorry, it made me feel good. But what I remember that it wasn't really for me. I think what made me feel so good about all those things is that I knew in some way that I was working for something greater than building a house for somebody or becoming someone's friend or even sitting with these little girls every day, building a relationship with them. What I know now that I didn't entirely know then, is that when I was helping God's kingdom. To me, that gave purpose, and I want to end my message tonight by saying this. If you're pursuing a relationship with God, quit waiting for God to put the right things into place for you. He already has. Your walk with God is not about God finding a purpose for you. It's about you finding a purpose for God.